Chai, football can be very cruel. Football can be very, very cruel. Arsenal, after struggling for about 20 years just to get to the UCL final once again, and they still lost to PSG. PSG. And the sad thing is that it happened in the penalty shootout. They did very well to get a 1-1 draw, and they were very unlucky. Football can be very, very cruel. You thought I was sympathizing with you. Aputo, you never sing that. You never sing that. We are European champions. You never sing that. You never sing that. You never sing that. We are European champions. You never sing that. Congratulations to PSG on winning the Champions League for the second time in a row. And this is a club history. It is the first time in their history that they've won the Champions League for the second time in a row after winning it for the first time last season. And they become the second team, I think, after Real Madrid to have done that. I think in the new era of the Champions League, Real Madrid is the only team to have won it the second time in a row when they went ahead to do it for the repeat. And I definitely believe that this PSG team still have the capacity to equal that particular record, because if you take around Europe, most teams are still asleep. Man City, Pep left them, they will have to start a rebuild. Bayern are trying with company, but I still believe that this PSG team is still stronger than them with Enrique. Liverpool are having their own challenges. Barcelona, Real Madrid, we all know what is happening with them. So they still have a chance to repeat winning the Champions League again next season. But for us now, I was very, very disappointed. Not entirely disappointed, but a part of me was disappointed. I believe that you started the game very well. In the first half, I am sure that PSG were shocked and surprised at how you came at them and you had the early goal. They were shocked. They were never expecting that. Then, after scoring that goal, you decided to go and sleep. You decided to build the wall of Jericho. You decided to build the Great Wall of China, Mountain Everest. A wall that even missiles, bombs cannot penetrate. Why? PSG tried and tried and tried, and they couldn't equalize until God did them a favor through that penalty, and Dembele equalized. Along the line, the attackers were tired, Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, and Arsenal, having a stronger bench, brought in the likes of Eze, Gyökeres, Zubimendi. It was at that point that I became, in fact, more disappointed in Arsenal, because ask me why. You guys have a better bench and a better squad than PSG. And when those threats, that is Dembele and Kvaratskhelia, were taken off, including Fabian Ruiz, I thought at that point it was in the hands of Arsenal to take the game to PSG, dominate them and win. But here again was where Arteta and the boys made a mistake. You can never win the Champions League by playing like a coward. No. Go through history, go through the past winners. They've always showed courage. And in football, if you cannot take risk, you cannot win. Especially during that extra time, when PSG looked toothless, they were basically just playing the ball sideways, trying to control the game. And Arsenal were still parking the bus. Why, Arsenal? Why? This loss is entirely on Arteta and the boys. And it pains me that despite me not liking Arsenal, I have to admit that this season, they've done very well. They've been impressive. They've been the most consistent team in the EPL. They are the most balanced team in terms of defending and attack. So I expected that when PSG attackers were taken off and it became a bit toothless, they would have taken the game to them, but they still stuck to their plan, and it was quite disappointing to to watch. It's very, very disappointing. But all the same, I still believe that Arsenal did incredibly well, and they shouldn't be sad. They should hold their heads up very high. Most of these players, I think, with the exception of Harvest, is their first time playing the Champions League final, and it will serve as a very good experience for them. The same thing applies to Ateta. He's a first time finalist in the UCL, and I'm sure that you go back to the drawing board and come back stronger next year. As I mentioned, a lot of teams are asleep in Europe. So I would not be surprised if either one of PSG or Arsenal still manage to reach the Champions League final next year. They still have that opportunity to make it happen. For Ateta, today was on him, but that does not override the kind of work he has done in the past. As I said in the previous video that I made to congratulate them for the EPL, he took Arsenal basically from nowhere. And the first thing he did was to instill that fear factor back into the team. Teams began to fear them. 3 years ago, they were in the Champions League quarterfinal. Then last year in the semi-final, and this year they reached the final. That is progress. That is progress. And I believe that this is a privilege for the board and Ateta to sit down to bring in more quality players that will allow them to play more expansively, because how they play this season might work in certain scenarios, but for the long run, it will not. You should be able to vary your tactics. You should be able to play more riskier, but in a more bold and dominant manner. And I think if they had done that in this game, they could have easily beaten PSG, because at a point you could even see Luis Enrique putting his hands on his head because he was afraid. He realized that he has made a mistake by taking off those players, but it was beyond him. They were tired, and now the game was totally in the hands of Arsenal, but they did not take advantage of that, and it's a shame. It's a shame. Several Arsenal fans are angry. They claim the referee did not do well. You can complain about the referee not giving the penalty for Madueke, but at the same time he decided not to give PSG the penalty for the handball on Saka. So I think we should leave the referee out of this. You guys have yourself to be blamed entirely, and I'm very disappointed. I was rooting for you, these guys, honestly speaking, because I believe that you could have won this. Yeah, you could have won this. And it's a shame that you had to lose it this way. You guys should calm yourself down, wipe your tears, go back to the drawing board. Don't be discouraged. Go and work harder, get in more quality players, and I'm sure next year might be your year. Congratulations to PSG once again. They've worked tirelessly hard for this. A lot of investment have gone into this, and I foresee them dominating Europe for a long time. Most of their players are also very young. They are in their prime, and they can go ahead to dominate Europe for the next 3, 4, 5 years if Enrique decides to stay for a long time. Congratulations to PSG, and it's unfortunate that Arsenal had to end their season this way. Thank you guys for watching me, and don't forget to share how you are feeling, especially the Arsenal fans. How are you feeling after this loss? Write there in the comment section. Let's interact. What went wrong today? Share your opinion, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with your loved ones. I appreciate your support all the time, and until I see you again, take care.